So hi there, welcome to lesson 2 in module 10. We're talking about the workflows between managing folders. Now this is not a rule but just principles that will guide you. You can call it any name, you can change your style, but we just want to give some advice about how you manage folders. We are giving some tips about this when we're talking about rice, using the rice analogy in module 2, how data moves from container to container. Okay, so let's look at a typical factory where I guess some chocolate bars are made or chocolate coated candy or something. So if you look at how it works, they start with some white kind of bar or candy. They are dripped in some chocolate and then they are, I guess, sent in a tray to dry. So that's how they move from one container to the other, just like we had explained for rice. So the in the actually to credible data, we're just adding folders now. There was an image like this, but now just look at those folder icons. And when data comes into the system, it's dirty. So I denote it with the color black. Dirty, we are not able to see clearly and immediately what the issues are. But when we do the create data, we give it a life that allows us, like putting a touch on in a dark room. That does not make the room clean. So that's what we do in create data. We just give it all the tools now that we need to use to process. For example, dates is a very good example at this stage. We now make dates. We need time. So we're able to say, oh, this date is out of range. Nobody can be born in the year 2050. But the data is saying from what was captured that someone was born in the year 2050. So you know there's something wrong with that. And then it moves also to check data and still has those outlines, the yellow outlines. If you look closely, you find them there. Because here we're still checking what the issues are. When we are done with the checks, we move into the clean folder, and then the final folder is what is white. It's cleaned, everything has been done and saved, ready for use. So between the clean and the final data, it's usually white. So um so let's talk about the raw again. It stores all the files that came in sense in the original form. And of course, they may not come originally as data files. Most of the times they don't. They come as Excel, they may come as CSV, you know, come in some Word form. But these are the two popular ones I know that they come, you know. And then once it leaves the raw file, it will go to the create file. We've explained that this will store all the files. You've put the variable labels and some things that help you to begin to review the data. And then of course you go to clean. Now I've told you why that has changed the steps, because now if there are any issues, you will now subject it, check for duplicates, check that it's complete, check that it's clear. You will have cleaned up what was there before, you know the new checks you're about to make. So that's the logic. So just go back to lesson 1 if you had not watched it to understand what I'm talking about. And then when you're done, you check. Now what has happened that you have cleaned everything, just like washing clothes. So you start washing. When you wash the clothes, they get clean. And if you're using your hand, if you are used to that skill, fine for you. But if you are used to washing machine all your life, you may not understand what I'm talking about. But that's also fine. So if you use your hands to wash, you check, you see a stain. But what is interesting that the stain has been cleaned off, but it's still there. So you now add little soap, you clean again. Now when you clean, then you check again. That's how you clean data too. You first apply whatever fundamental cleaning you have to do, and then you check, you clean, you check, you clean until everything has been done. So it's like an aeration. You just keep on doing it until you have everything done. So we'll have also a folder for do files, which we rarely talk about because we're used to that. Yeah, that's what stores what controls all the other files. Now some people, I've seen them do it in such a way that do files for creator in the create folder, do files for clear in the clean folder. Whatever works best for you, please go ahead and use. But these are the 3 or 5 fundamental folders you will require when you are working with data management. So I hope this is clear. In the next lesson, lesson number 3, we'll be looking at when cleaning is impossible. Sometimes you want to clean, but you do not have enough information to clean. So see you in lesson 3 when I talk about this. Very interesting things ahead.